I look in everyone good demonstration, very high level demonstration. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. 僕が目指している僕の合気道、この28年間の合気道を説明したい。
So I'd like to start my demonstration. Please cross your legs. Always forget, so please cross your legs. So today I'd like to explain my Aikido been doing for last 28 years here. So in Japan, so how many years? 38 years or something. So I'd like to explain my Aikido today.
一つは実際に使える合気道で、とにかく合気道家にしか効かない技ってのはおかしいと僕は思ってます。
So what I focus about my Aikido is all about that Aikido which is practical, useful, not the Aikido techniques works only on Aikido practitioners. So I like to have Aikido as realistic as possible, not only just in the dojo, not only for certain people. That's my Aikido.
そうすると技がすごく無駄な動きがなくどんどんシンプルになってきました。
So as I sort of studied and tried to make Aikido more effective, more efficient, became more simple, removing or eliminating all unnecessary movements and motions.
だから世間では相手の動きをさばいて投げるっていう動きが高尚な技と取られるというところがあるんですけども、そうではなくなってきた。
So the image of Aikido, most of people have elegant movement, circle, beautiful movement, and they or Aikido people evaluate Aikido which has all elegant movements or that as elevated Aikido. They think when the movements are really elegant, they think that's beautiful Aikido, and that's high level of Aikido. That's what usually people think. So for instance, mine is one movement, so simple, quick, and simple. That's my Aikido. So they are all my Aikido that I developed. So even restraining in the end made it simple too. Not complicated movements, only one movement. So I would like to do normal or usual Aikido, or most common Aikido movements. Circular, 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 more movement, and throw in the end. So they appear to be graceful and look more technical, but do you think it's useful on the street is my question. So they are not useful in the realistic world.
うちの生徒昔の生徒なんですけど、日本に行って帰ってきたらこういうこの位置からこう回って投げるこういうやつです。で高級な技習ってきたっていうふうに僕に報告してくれたんです。
So yeah, one of my students said, "Oh, I learned this technique in Japan. This is something new. Ah, that looked great. And Sensei said, yep, that I eliminated ages ago. Because of my belief that Aikido has to be a martial art and that has to work, so I didn't really teach the one that I knew, but I didn't think they were useful, so I didn't teach. So one more. These So there are a lot of maneuvering movements in Aikido, but not necessary to do these maneuvering. This is mine, so just one movement is enough to do. So the principle of Aikido, it's the same, but it has to be practical. So that's why I'm teaching these techniques to my students. So knowing Aikido use circular movement, and then when they know Aikido uses circular movement, there's a lot of criticizing on my technique, saying, oh, you use only straight lines. I use all the curvy, not necessarily full circle, but my movements all using curvy, can say circular too, circular movements only, though it may appear to be straight. So for instance, so this type of movement, people who do not know or do not really see, they think I'm using only straight lines, but the reality I'm using, so they are all curvy motions I'm using. If you really see slowly, I'm using only curvy movements. It's for me, it's already circle here, and to the other side of the circle, not curvy, and then other. That's why techniques work. When you really see, if it's really straight line, technique never works because it's just hitting each other. The force and force crush each other. So it has to be a curvy, circular motion. So I'm using the circle movement, but they are small. I'm using all the circular motion, just all smaller circular motion. When people are expecting big circular motion, big elegant ones, then they see this, my movement, as there's no circular motion. But I'm using small circular motion, small circular motion. So that there's a bigger motion. But mine's much smaller circle I'm using. In this way, much faster. Do you see it? So I'm not pushing straight. I'm using always circular motion to even pushing. Never in a straight position. Always there's a little circle happening. Even udegarami, it's down and up. Down, circular again. It's curvy circular motion. So that's what I wanted to make sure everybody knows, that even they appear to be straight, always there's a circular motion. Always. So now moving on to Aikiwaza techniques, explain about Aikiwaza techniques.
合気技には2つ、僕が思うには2つ種類があります。
So what I think now, I may change in future, but what I think now, there are two types of aikiwaza. In a big category, there are two types.
一つは力を入れる合気技。もう一つは抜く合気技。
So here, we had the English translation issue, but I think what he is saying is one is putting strength, aikido, aikiwaza, I mean, and then pull out strength, aikido. In other words, locking and technique aikido, or unlock and doing technique as well. So two, one's putting in and locking, one's pulling out and unlocking. Two types.
トムはすごく力が強い人。
So Tom, obviously, you've got a strength.
で、入れる合気っていうのは、まず持たれた時に、こっちから力をグッとこう。
Putting strength side, I have to add strength to him to lock it.
で、入れたところから鋭い力を相手の体にこう。
So I added, locked it, and then even adding just a bit more to move him.
で、もう一つ合気技に入るのに説明しておくのは、なんでこんな技をするかというと、普通の基本技の時は軽く持って押したり引いたりして、で今度は相手ががっちり持ったら技がかけられない。だからこういう技をかけると。
合気技の必要性。So the necessity of 合気技 is when the basic techniques are not working, when someone's really strong and holding you so tight, you can't even move to do any basic Aikido lock techniques. That's when Aikiwaza is really needed, when someone's so strong. So physically, Tom has more strength than Mori Sensei. Unfortunately, sorry, Sensei. But
I know he's easy.
So,
で、今逆のことをやろうと思います。抜いてみましょう。
So next I will do the pulling out strength technique. So unlocking technique.
持ち方は同じで。
So it's the same. So Tom is doing the same thing, holding really tight with whole strength.
持ってる状態からまず下の方が相手のこの4本の指と親指に力を返しています。
So here, first a little bit of locking. First a little bit of locking to his four fingers. Where you lock is really important for this unlocking technique. First, sort of balanced by adding tiny small movement and then strength to lock. Then,
でこの位置から今持ってるところからちょっと抜いていく。
and then pull out strength happening, unlocking happening.
だからこの持たれた状態にまず合わせてあげて。
So first, just adjust and then lock it.
で今度は今後ろにいる今度前に抜こうと思って前に抜くには下の方から。
And again, I unlocked it and moved.
でこれは力を使ってない。で見た目はね同じかもしれないですね。
May look similar for you, but for uke, do you feel the difference, Tom?
Yes.
Yeah, huge difference for uke. Very different, but both your body's gone.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. One feels like a little hammer, the other one feels like a sledgehammer.
Both are hammers anyway. For shite side, completely two opposite technique.
だから1本目のこの力を入れるっていうのは、すごいシャープな力を
So putting in strength version, totally locking one. Very sharp shock
そう入れて
at the beginning.
それで叩きつける。
So there's two happening. So first giving shock, sharp. It has to be strong and sharp. And it totally locks up and then adding another one straight after.
So Tom, is that the big hammer or is that the little hammer?
Big.
That's a big hammer.
で
Horse, thank you.
でこれを抜いてあげるというのはまず力をこう入れてくるのにまず返してあげて。
And this one, first have to be locked, but not with the strength. It's just adjusting and locking first.
そうこれ彼に掴ませてあげる。腕を掴ませたときに真ん中の線をちょうど抜いて。
So you're letting him to really hold properly, more like. Then pull out the center.
だからこのあとは力を抜いて体の線だけで。
To me, it's just really, if I say relax, you think relaxing whole body, which is wrong idea. I'm not relaxing my lower part of the body, but relaxing upper body and then pull out the very center, you say, very, very center of the strength. That's where you pull. If it's not the center, you can't pull. It has to be really right in the center. And same thing, just into the different direction. So it's now I change my angle to move the center, and once you get the center, just dropping the center or pulling out the center. And this is the second version of Aiki waza. So see how easy or how difficult by seeing Tom does. And you fall. So that's the idea of people think, okay, relax, then you fall. But yourself is steady. Yeah, according to him, Sensei says, the base, it doesn't change, it's still focused. But only upper body and in the hand, you need to, he says, you need to unlock it. Without unlocking, you can't do this technique. The first technique, you have to keep locking. Second technique, you have to unlock before you throw. So it's really strength, physical strength happening. So when physical strength is so strong, then you can't move simply. But then you unlock it by slightly against this grabbing. I just move my center a little bit back so I can unlock his strength. Then unlock it so I can throw him. By unlocking, then because it's released, the strength is released, so I can spin easily. Then by spinning, but still in a way unlocking, but his hands are still connected. So by me spinning, because he's connected, he comes with me. So, but then putting in strength, first one, keep locking one, I add my strength on his. Look the same, but doing different things. Look the same technique, but the one that I did now, I added more strength onto his strength. And then spinned my center. Can you nuku as pulling out which one?
Out? Any?
Big hammer, Tom. Big hammer.
So the one that I did now is I often had it from Master Goshu-Ryu. He did a lot of putting in strength version of Aiki waza. So by adding strength a little bit downwards, then more like compress, his spines are full of joints when you think about it. They are all joints, so it's still joint lock. You lock the joint by adding strength downwards, and then all the spines lock up, then spin it, so it will get locked.
今力がまだ自由な状態になっているところから
So it's
これが入る。そしたらそのこっちの回転に相手が持ってきます。
So when he was standing, nothing was locked. He had a balance. Then by giving him strength or sort of shock, then the old spine locks up. So then you can move. Yeah.
で、こういうのは相手のこの関節にこの骨に全部つなげていく。これが合気技の特徴ですね。ここから全部こっちにつな
So
げる。
where I'm holding, that's only the start, and each from there, from where the contact is, all the joints have to be locked. Therefore, the body moves. People, when the techniques are not working, they're trying to lock only the arms. It's not connected to the body.
そうでこれも円運動ね。
Again, it's a small circular motion.
この円運動に乗せてその入って
And by giving shock, it locks the joints
ここに入ってその
and locks the joints.
こういうのを、触れたところから合気技をかける。
So always contact first. Techniques without contact, he thinks it's not working. So it has to start with contact, but not only, it starts from there, but have to travel to the body, the center, so where the balance is. Then you can throw.
で、だから普通は持たせるところからスタートするけども、横面打ちこう当てた。だからこの当たったところそのまま
Yeah, so anywhere where the contact starts, so even striking, not only holding, by striking you block and then you make a contact. So where you make a contact, you can start aikiwaza too. Not only grabbing, not only grabbing.
正面突きの肘
So the same thing.
だからこれも相手のこの入ったここに
So
グッと入る。
So first, it's the same principle. Give a shot and lock his body, or the joint locks, then throw, put more strength into it.
だからこの動きっていうのは人間の防衛本能を引き出す。当てて力をガッと加えると相手がグッと返しそれに技をかける。
So Aikido really uses body defense mechanism. That's what you can say. So by giving shot, body naturally, it's reflex. You just react to the strength because body trying to keep the balance. When you are hit, you don't just fall. You try to stay back because you want to keep your body balance. That's what Aikido is using the body mechanism. So that's why the giving shock is important. Body tried to hold or fight against the shock. That's when body all locks up, then throw. So it's all very much about the physics.
だからこのこうパンチを打ってパンチをこう相手を受ける。この受けた状態に力を入れる。これでつま先が入る。
So now, so you don't need to wait until someone attacks you. You can sort of initiate and then he blocks naturally. Then contact starts.
このグッとこう力を入れる。
So,
グッとこう返して。
so if you give him strength, then he tried to push back. That's natural body mechanism. He tried to push back. Then you can have the connection.
だから見てどうなるかというと相手の重心が全部つま先の方にグッとくる。
So if you saw his body, where the body balance went, and then by him moving, yes, you can see his body balance went to his toes. It changes by.
だからこの位置に入った人もね
So the same thing. It slowly moves his balance.
こう今当てた状態でここではなく内側にこうグッと持ってこれでもの
So it's sort of how Tom, can you explain in your word? Do you think how you feel? At the beginning you are free, right? And then once, yeah, you can do whatever you feel, right? Once you say is a block, Sensei come and block, and
It feels like my center point's not there anymore, it's out there.
there, as where he moves.
Yes.
That's how the balance, you take the opponent's balance with the connection.
それは正しくてこの位置から手を乗せたところからこのセンターをちょっとずらす。
So,
これずる
so at the beginning, his center, the balance is right in the middle. That's where he was standing. So I move his center, which is his balance, out of his where it was. Then he loses. So you have to understand where his balance is.
で、こういう結局指をバッチリ持っても同じことなんだけども
So same principle.
結局この指対この4本の指を親指に対抗しようとするともう勝てない。
So only my pointing finger to his whole fist. Of course, physically, his fist has more strength. So can't fight because I'll lose.
僕の皮膚と肉で対抗すると折れちゃうので骨をスッと抜くんです。
So I feel like if my skin and muscle work on his fist, my skin and then muscle is weaker, but I use my bone to move. So there's no fight. I just move my bone.
これも今前に投げても同じ後ろに行っても
So it doesn't matter forward or back.
この線を
So that's the center. And then
でこうやって指を持たれてもいろんな動きができる。
So this one, I can say this is type of Aiki as well. So using your bone mechanism thing. It's not muscle, it's about bone mechanism that I'm using. That's what I can say.
そうでこうやって運動自由だとか投げてで息が上がったりするってことは無駄な動きが多いですね。でこれを皆さんはなるだけ息が上がらないような技をやって習得してもらいたいと思います。
So when you are shite side, if you are pumping, 息が上がるって何カイドは pumping, exhausted and pumping, puffing, then that means you are doing a lot of unnecessary movements and unnecessary strength you are using. As you get more advanced, the techniques will be much easier by just using your center strength and then balance and focus the strength. It's going to be much easier. 受けexhausted, yes.
受けはで僕の経験からすると僕もずっと自由だと息がすごい上がってた時期があってで亡くなった時っていうのは見た目館長先生の自由だと同じような動きをし始めた時が息が上がらなくなった時です。
So as and chasing my own Aikido path, when I realized I was puffing too much and I started eliminating my unnecessary movements, and then I realized my movement is getting closer to my master. So yes, so that's how I changed my Aikido, I feel.
だから皆さんせっかくフリスメン道場にサンシャインコースにね来てやってるわけだから皆さん全員がマスター合同しようと目指してやりました。
So as here we are training at Yoshinkan Aikido, Brisbane Dojo, Sunshine Coast, and Southside Dojo too. So we all aiming master Gozo Shoda's technique. So that's where we are all training. Yes. And my wish is really want to surprise Aikido practitioners in Japan, Australian Aikido. Let's make Aikido in Australia much better and much bigger than them. That's my wish. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Should I? Thank you.
シンセに、先生に、